Okay, so this is part two, and basically me just talking about the ending. And well, pretty much all I have to say about the ending is, ha, ah, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, not exactly too thrilled with the ending. I personally did not like it. Now, I've just personally heard that there are probably lots of people who actually did enjoy it. And if you enjoyed it, good for you. But I didn't. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. I honestly believe that it went from kind of bad to the realm of the retarded. Yeah. It just, like, personally, I felt that it kind of went downhill, started to go downhill, like, the moment we actually found out it was John Wakefield. I mean, that took away from the suspense and mystery right away, but, I mean, I felt like, hey, maybe they can still make this work. And, well, they kind of did. Granted, I mean, it was, I don't know. Honestly, like, the episode where Cal and his wife, his girlfriend die. That was, I think, the episode where we finally see John Wakefield in action. Personally, I felt that, well, it was sad to see them die, but, like, I mean, like I said, that was the episode where it went downhill, and I mean, seeing those two die really did suck. But, like, more than that, I mean, where it really got bad was when, well, we actually find out it was Henry who was helping Wakefield. I mean, they actually managed to give us a little bit more of suspense with us believing that Jimmy, or whatever his name was actually helping John Wakefield. I mean, I'm glad that they managed to give us a little bit more suspense in that, but, like, I mean, honestly, having Henry be working with John Wakefield, that really sucked. I mean, that really was not something, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was just because of the fact, for me, I mean, I personally felt that, like, it was just unbelievable to watch this. Because, I mean, personally, I'm gonna be honest, I just felt like he really, really wasn't prepared for this. Which he probably wasn't, because I've actually heard that the actors themselves were never told what was gonna happen. And, personally, it really shows. I mean, with Henry, and I mean, it just gets worse, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but there's something else I want to talk about, but I actually forget what it is, but it was something kind of important, but I'm sure it'll come back to me, but, like I was saying, it's the fact that Henry was the killer just really was unbelievable to watch, and then to find out that he was actually wanting to hold his half-sister hostage, well, that was just retarded, I felt. I mean, it was just retarded and obvious filler, too. And they just gave up. It was clear that they just gave up. Now, on the top of my head, I'm not saying I could do much better on the top of my head, but on the top of my head, I could think of a few ways they could have gone. Here's one example that I have thought of, actually, and one example I thought they were going to go too. Having Henry maybe discover that John Wakefield was his dad. That would have been maybe much more interesting. Now, I am going to point out that I'm going to give credit, say that I am glad it did not make Abby his daughter, because that would have been just a predictable soap opera. Dun dun dun. But like, I mean, having him find out and know automatically, that was kind of retarded. I guess they had to have someone. But you never know. I mean, maybe they could have had someone else on the island helping John Wakefield. I mean, that would have been more interesting. And I mean, seriously, I mean, they didn't even have to have John Wakefield still be alive. I mean, honestly, they could have, what's the word? Well, what they could have done, they could have actually, had a copycat killer be on the loose. Or, yeah, well, pretty much a copycat killer. Or I mean, it could have been, could have been everyone at the same time. And I mean, these are just ideas at the top of my head, but, I mean, like I said, I'm really disappointed by the way it ended, and I felt like it was just, well, I think the writers just got lazy. And like I said, I think it was a big mistake in not telling, especially in the way they ended it, especially considering that they didn't even tell any of the actors, especially Henry, who probably was not had like a few moments to prepare himself to realize that he was the killer. And I mean, it was clear that I don't think he wasn't very convincing to me, at least, that he was a killer. I mean, maybe if he had been told before and actually knew what he was doing, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he would have played it totally differently. So yeah, I mean, but then again, I mean, they like I said, it was just an awful way to end the series. And I mean, it's a shame, because this series was actually really strong and good and really enjoyable and really suspenseful, and I mean, really mysterious. And I like shows where after each episode you gain a little bit of knowledge, but at the same time you gain more questions. Like you get a few questions answered, but at the same time you gain you get more questions than answers. I like shows like that, or shows with twists, plot twists. Like I said, as long as the plot twists aren't retarded, though, like what happened with this one. And like I said, it's not the fact that Henry was John Wakefield's son that's retarded. It's just the fact that he knew. Anyways, I've only got about 25 seconds, so pretty much basically that's all I wanted to say about the ending. And basically, like I said, the show in general, good. Ending, not so much. So that's about it, and hopefully there'll be more videos up later. So see ya, bye, and yeah, bye.